free kicks are going to be vital. Set plays are going to become really, really important. And that could be an area where 3 points could certainly be won by either team.
With the games coming thick and fast, you will see changes, and both sides have mixed things up with matches on Boxing Day and the 29th as well. New Year begins here for Luton and for Norwich City. The third top scorers visiting Bedfordshire. Only Leeds and Middlesbrough have got more, but they've let in the most of anyone outside of the bottom 6, as you touched on. How might they combat what is a very physical Luton side, and with the Kenilworth Road crowd behind them, as we saw here last time out against Derby, particularly late on, where the crowd really helped them get that late win over the line. It's up to Norwich, as you say, to try and remedy that rotten record when defending set pieces against the likes of Adebayo and Morris, and Luton's big defenders will come up.
Yeah, I mean, that'll certainly be a battle in terms of everything that we see in Championship football week in, week out. And when you look at Duffy and Doyle, you'd certainly expect Norwich to be a lot more solid in terms of what they've done, but they're playing alongside 2 young players in both full-back positions. So that's going to be an area I certainly can see Luton really capitalising on. Using the wing-backs is going to be vitally important. I'd expect early 20 minutes from Rob Edwards, crosses into the box, crosses, to really test this Luton defence, because they're vulnerable, and when they've been in front in games and they've conceded 3 goals, and it's been one of those seasons where they've been so fragile when they've conceded a goal. It can certainly be an area where Rob Edwards would be certainly looked at. Hindsight, on the other side, the home record has been really, really strong, but as we've seen on the road with Luton, they can be vulnerable as well. But Kenilworth Road has been a solid base for them. If their away records match their home record, then it'd certainly be a bit more of a solid position. But second half of the season in the Championship, there's always sides that can go on these runs, can always go on this momentum run going forwards. Both of these sides can do it, but they need to certainly show a bit more consistency.
Outplayed in the first half against Swansea, Rob Edwards felt it was a little more even in the second until they suffered a red card. They defended that pretty well. The question is here, can they defend against the Norwich side, who are pretty good on the break, both without big players due to injury, but both looking to start the year on a high. It has been a stormy start, a stormy end to 2024, and a windy welcome to 2025, but it looks to have just eased a little, that rain before kick-off. Jared Gillett, the Australian, leads us out. Only his 8th game of the season, the man in the middle today, and the 3rd since the end of September. An experienced top-flight official taking charge of 2 very recent top-flight sides. Luton have set a plan of returning to the Premier League within 5 years. For Luton, it certainly is looking like it won't be this season. Well, let's take a check on how they line up. Rob Edwards has made 2 changes to Luton's lineup compared to that most recent away defeat at Swansea. Roel Walters makes a first start in almost 3 months after returning from a broken foot last weekend. Zach Nelson gets his 3rd start of the season and a first since the end of September. Marvelous Nakamba and the suspended Joe Johnson drop out. Jacob Brown and Mads Andersen have recovered enough from their recent injuries to return to the bench. This is a little early for Alfie Doughty and Reece Burke, and Liam Walsh is serving the last of a 4-game ban. There are 3 changes to the Norwich lineup, which began their 1-1 draw with QPR. Former Luton fullback Jack Stacey comes in for Kellen Fisher, and 2 of the front 3 have been rotated. Antti Senats and Oscar Svatau drop out. Emi Macondes comes in, as does Onel Hernandez for just the 2nd time this season. It looks like he may well start up front. Saints and Macondes both scored in November's recent meeting that Norwich won 4-2. Josh Sargent, Jakob Sorensen and Liam Gibbs are all still missing. He's always a big part of everything Luton do going forward. He scored in the last 2 home games, the skipper, including that 92nd minute winner against Derby.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player that's so important in terms of the link-up play with Adebayo, but when you're looking at players to really step up now, they need to find goals on a regular basis. He has shown that in a Luton Town shirt, and the importance of the way that he leads the line from Rob Edwards' side. They need more from him, and it's a big period of the season now for the captain to really deliver. One of the Championship's in-form players, a man who
he'll be in demand, I think, as well. And maybe Luton's resolve will be tested in this January win. Borja Sainz, who got the 4th goal in that 4-2 win.
Yeah, brilliant start to the season from him, with the abundance of goals that he scored, the importance of what he provides to Norwich on that left-hand side. Has suffered maybe in the last 10 games. Problems on and off the field can certainly contribute to that. A lot of speculation now of his future in January, but Norwich certainly needing to deliver now.
January looks like being a pivotal month for both Luton and Norwich. Off the pitch, there is money to spend, there is strengthening to be done, and both sides will feel they need it to push on in the second half of this season. But on it, the New Year's resolutions have to be to improve, certainly for Luton Town away from home after 9 straight defeats. Norwich here, the away side, their away form almost as bad. This a real litmus test as to how these two might deal with the second half of the Championship campaign. Only just over halfway through. Luton have left it late in the last 2 home games. They'll want to get off to a better start. They're going to be physical, they're going to be direct, and it is up to Norwich's back line and the goalkeeper who sweeps up there to respond. Yeah,
clear indications early on from Rob Edwards' side just to be playing that ball into the channels, playing that ball forwards.
Looks like Waters might start on the right-hand side with Chong on the left, but he has played both. Tae Chong for Rob Edwards this season. Felt they were outplayed against Swansea in the early stages. His message to the players really over the last month or so has been just be braver, take more risks, especially at the top end of the pitch. Maybe not defensively, which is where things have let them down a little. Immediate pressure on Duffy, the birthday boy, 33 today, the experienced Irish defender. McLean gets himself out of trouble, and Norwich maybe can move up for the first time with Sainz. The Championship's top scorer gliding away. Finding space on the right, Stacey. He's shown a little bit too much of that to Adebayo. But here's Duffy. Norwich on the ball in decent spaces. Hernandez has pulled wide. Macondes at the moment is the man who looks like he's up top. I've seen him as an attacking midfielder. Not often seen him as a player who could play maybe as a false 9. We'll see how that pans out. It might be a really mobile front three with Sainz on this left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real clear indication in terms of a player leading down the middle.
Well, that's a nice little touch, looking for Sainz, who has now come into the middle, and it very nearly worked through for Macondes. That might be one of Luton's big tests, actually, over these opening 10 minutes, to find players they should be marking. Nunez, who's another who can unlock things. Doyle has really slotted in nicely on the left-hand side of that defence, much more suited than Torup's system to that centre-half role, rather than as a left-back, where he did play earlier in the campaign. Sainz gliding away again, effortlessly from the Spaniard, out to Nunez. And Norwich looking comfortable in control on the ball early on. That's too close, though, to Kaminski.
Yeah, I think it's just really important for Luton to have a real balance without the ball in their own half, especially when you may be expecting a certain formation to be played and certain personnel down that middle, and it hasn't quite happened, and you've kind of got 3 wingers. Looks like Marcondes is going to be the player playing down the middle, and say the pre-match talk from local journalists said it was certainly maybe Hernandez the player to play down the middle, but you'll clearly probably see more rotation within the front 3.
Right, came back off Ben Slimani, and Stacey can shepherd it back to Angus Gunn. Looking for potentially a 4th clean sheet of this season. Escaped a ban over the Christmas period, which was good news for Norwich City. Pressure here has come from Nelson, the youngster who'll hope to show what he can do in a Luton shirt from the start. The 19-year-old having been largely a substitute this season. Here is Macondes. And Nunez scored on his 100th appearance for the club against QPR 3 days ago. Marcelino Nunez. And now they look down the left-hand side again, but it's Crescenti who's up there. Young left back will leave it. McLean sweeps it in. Hernandez high up on that right-hand side. The rain is still driving a little, quite not as forcefully as it has been much of the morning here in this corner of Bedfordshire. With 5 minutes gone, it is definitely going to be a condition that the fans and the players will have to get used to. Amari Bell providing the tight cover on Hernandez. Only a second start for the Cuban and a chance over this busy, congested period for him to maybe stake a claim too. Only a couple of goals, both in the League Cup. He hasn't scored in the league since January of last year. It's almost January of 2023, I should say. It's almost 2 years now. And stabbed away by Chong. Norwich have overwhelmingly had it, and it was flicked on to Ben Slimani. And Norwich just got a foot in time. Luton at the moment struggling to get out of their own 18-yard box.
I think he's had a really good start to the game, Slimani. Playing more in a more attacking central midfield position, but when players drop within that final third, he's actually the one making the run forward. I know that was from a flick on there from a throw-in, but he's trying to get forward as much as possible. Luton not really started yet.
Nunez with the Norwich City corner, the first of the game for them, played short to Macondes. Different angle of attack, looking for Saints, but he doesn't find it. And now they can look to break with Chong. He's got a lot to do himself, but they're charging through the middle. And Adebayo takes it in his stride, takes it early. And it's easy enough for Angus Gunn. But there's a hint of Luton on the break and how dangerous they can be.
Well, it's amazing when you've got your own set play there and all of a sudden you're countered like that. And within 2 passes, you've got a shot towards your own goal. Have to be defensively queued up. So just quite got the pace to get away. Comfortable save in the end there for Gump.
Another of those scorers in that most recent meeting. Got 3 in 3 games in recent times against Norwich, Swansea and Stoke. The goals have come in streaks for him this season, but he's without one since that against Stoke. Saints too might be the Championship's top scorer, but he's gone 6 games in the league without one. Here is Nelson. Here's Adebayo again, with McLean close to him. Luton actually enjoying a little bit of time inside Norwich territory. As I say, that Clark takes a heavy touch. Here he is again. He'll get it back, and Nelson is standing off. Up from the back is Holmes. And Raul Walters. Deep from Holmes. Adebayo waiting. And hoping for the return. Doesn't come in from that left-hand side. Nobody back there, only McGuinness.
Well, we've certainly seen with the defensive record of both sides this season that, listen, there are going to be chances and opportunities created.
Here's Walters. First start since early October when he broke his foot against Sheffield United. Clark. A steady and almost continuing presence in that central midfield area. Krause, equally important to Luton's stability in there as well, but he's lost the ball. And Condes looking for Saints, who was trying to check his run. Flag has stayed down for Saints and Norwich City, who now faces a wall of orange shirts. and fires it over.
Waters, the player down the right-hand side for Luton, that just got himself caught out of position. Decent just to show him down the line there. So the angle's always going to be working against signs, even the player of his quality. Just slightly alarming how two opportunities on the counter have happened for both sides now, where defences have been so open.
They haven't made the most of trying to get rid of it. Luton, this is Hernandez, who's doubled up on. Congested over that side, a little bit more space here, and they've worked it quickly. Ben Crescenni. He actually had a space to turn that, Sainz. If he'd looked around, he could have changed position, face goal. Three starts in a row now for Crescenni on that side. It looks like Luton might already have to make a change. It is Marvelous Nakamba who has his top off and is just waiting to come on. Because after just 10 minutes, looks like it might be Clark who's in trouble, Jordan Clark. And Rob Edwards has seen that early. Maybe it's a known issue that they were hoping wouldn't rear its head, but it has done early in this game. Didn't seem that it had come as a result of a challenge, and after a bit of instruction, and it looks like that's the end of his game. So Clark departs. The player has played in all but 2 of their games so far, and on comes Marvelous Nakamba, one of those who dropped out from the previous game against Swansea.
Yeah, certainly not ideal there for Edwards to be losing a key compartment of that midfield area.
McLean goes back. Duffy has just overrun that one. And it's rifled forward, but it's even too far for Sainz. Norwich do have money to spend, and January is a difficult month to do business, but it has to align with the policy that they set out. Ben Napper, the sporting director, over the course of the summer, reducing the age of the squad, bringing in players that can develop and profit from. Sainz might be one of those, but they'd be loath to lose him this month. Try and keep him at least until January. Luton have already actually done some business. He picked up Eric Peters on a free, who isn't in the squad today. Congo international centre-back Klaus Makosto has joined from the Belgian second tier. The first official move of the window. They'll actually have a defensive midfielder available for them too. Lamin Fanner, who signed in August from AIK in Sweden, but remained there for the rest of their season. He's registered today, so he can be used again for the first time. Holmes will have to leave that one. Doyle just looking for the option. Crescenni did a short one. And now he's tried to get away from Nelson and does. That's calm and composed on the ball. Nunez out to the right-hand side, where Onel Hernandez is waiting. Stacey up from right back. Hernandez swiftly moved on to Nunez. Luton have it. Derry. Duffy. Well, they've worked that nicely, and after Luton's little spell, then Norwich have managed to work themselves back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you can clearly see the way that they're trying to play without a natural striker, that the front players are trying to move that bit of movement and to try and find that bit of creativity. They haven't quite had the shot towards goal yet. However, there are signs and there are moments at the moment that you can see that have caused Luton one or two issues. Just haven't found that little area where they've really tested Romanski in the goal.
15 gone. Luton have themselves another set piece to defend. This time it's Holmes right underneath it. Hernandez nearly squirmed out to Ben Slimani. He seems to have ridden out the worst part of the storm, Rob Edwards, in terms of looking at his future. It wasn't looking great in November's international window, and they went in after that heavy defeat to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I was at that game, and so the changes that he's made and the team that he put out that afternoon was a strange one, and they got heavily beaten by Michael Carrick's team.
Kraus, prompting by Chong down the left-hand side. Kraus has picked up a little pocket of space, but the pass is too much on it, and this slick surface, and out it goes. Yeah, he says they're working even harder than they did in the Premier League to try and turn what is an awful away run around. No two games have been the same. It was late against Swansea. It was very different against Middlesbrough. It was a game where they were completely outplayed. No matter what seems to happen, it doesn't seem to end well for them. And here, they've been doing it, the sides here. Holmes has had to react quickly and has just got it to Walters, but Cresani intervenes, and now Luton can bring it away with Nelson. That's a good challenge from McLean, doing what he does best in there for Norwich. Macondes, he's through. Holmes has missed it. Macondes straight at the goalkeeper. Kaminski blocks in time.
What a chance that was. McLean with a brilliant challenge in that midfield area that started it. Macondes, the player, driving forward with the ball. Be disappointed with the magnitude of the shot towards goal, because I think he had more time to pick a better spot into that far corner. That was a brilliant time challenge there from the captain in the middle. A great little give and go there, just enough on the pass. There's a player trying to stick a foot out. Just got his first touch caught underneath his foot a little bit. A big chance of the game so far.
It's been composed, and actually, for most of it, it has been confident for Norwich City. Shaded it in terms of possession at the moment. Walters. Holmes is going to have to run and get there first. Just one shot on target apiece so far. That man, Anabaya for Luton. And just a moment ago, Macondes for Norwich. Giannis Tora spoke in the build-up about finding the balance between pushing at the right time and settling for what he feels they're capable of at this moment in terms of additional manpower. He's talked about trying to find a striker who can run in behind, a different kind of option. They don't have Josh Sargent back yet. They're hoping he'll be back for the FA Cup game, but he'll, all being well, start training again next week. It's aimed at Chong, and he won't get there. Seen off pretty carefully.
I'd say he'll be an important player if they can get him back fit again. It seems like Ashley Barnes is a player that doesn't seem to be in the manager's plans on the bench today. So maybe they can offload him to try and just free up a bit more space and also wages to try and bring someone else in. But you're quite right to mention it. They need to try and bring something else in to maybe stretch play a little bit more, something that can run in behind, which is always effective in the Championship.
Hernandez now central, now trying to do that down that right-hand side. They really haven't found a successful player to continually play down that side either. They've got young Cade Gordon on loan. Hernandez himself. Svartau played in the last few games. He's on the bench again today. Christian Fasnacht, due to injury, has not had any real sniff and has rejoined Young Boys. Holmes with the diagonal this time. Morris turns it on for Chong, and Chong is looking. Adebayo was waiting. Walters half hoping that there'll be a penalty. Nothing doing. It was pretty close range.
Yeah, it was there. I think it may have struck the arm. I thought it did slightly, but for Sainz to get out of the way of that, I think his arm was in a natural position when he went to go and close the ball down. He's running there. He's got no intention to try and deliberately stop the ball going past his hand there. Just would have been harsh if a penalty was given.
Here's Doyle. New Year's Day hasn't always been kind to either of these two. 1-1 in the last 6 opening league games of the year for Norwich at Barnsley 4 years ago. 1-1 in 7 for Luton. McLean on the left-hand side this time. Ben Slimani. Around the corner, but Sainz wasn't as far forward as Kenny McLean thought he was.
So 21 minutes into the game now, coming up 22. Neither really gained a real foothold into the game with the ball. Spoke about Norwich's frailties from set plays. Problem with Luton is they've not kept the ball well enough in Norwich's half to get those wing backs forward and get crosses into the box early. So Norwich have had their moments on the counter.
Here they come again, looking to play, but behind Sainz. A moment. Very few touches in the opposition box. Ben Slimani, Sainz, a couple for Macondes, but that's all that's happened really for Norwich City. Sainz firing one over the top. Macondes ending up with a shot on goal, which Kaminski saved rather comfortably. It's been patchy for Luton so far, with only Raw, Walters and Adebayo getting forward. Adebayo now trying to retrieve the ball on the touchline. Walters is the man behind him, will take it midway through this first half. The rain continues to teem down at Kenilworth Road. Doyle is in well. It'll be McGuinness to wind one up. The referee, before that though, is going to have a word with those in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, they certainly know what's going to be coming Norwich. It's just really important if they get that first header to the ball, that the second ball has to be won as well. That second one is just as important as the first.
Holmes on the near post. He's had a word too with Jared Gillett. So, you've got Walters standing off. Holmes is the potential target. Might dart forward from that position. Boxed in at the moment on the near post. And as Mark McGuinness winds one up, that's where it's aimed at. And they have done well. Norwich City to get that one away. Macondes wanted it early. He'll get it now, but he's got a job on to chase that down. back from the start. He tried to rest him as long as he could. Wanted to give him the whole game off. Matchday against QPR, but ended up needing him late on for the last half hour. That's missed by Doyle, the first mistake he's made so far, and Adebayo can take it with him. Not as far as Nakamba. Crossfield for Walters. Cresceni has not even got his shirt on, and he had to make the defensive header.
I've never seen that in my career. Someone with a shirt in one hand making a header.
He could laugh about it now. I don't think he expected play to continue quite that quickly. So the upshot is another Mark McGuinness long throw, which again is directed towards the near post. Nakamba looks to cushion it down for Kraus. Chong against Hernandez, he'll see it out.
What I will say about Luton in these first 25 minutes, they just look a little bit fragile. So ball comes to the edge of the box there. The conditions are, have a strike towards goal.
Carlton Morris actually pulled it off his back. Nelson thought about lining up a shot, and Slimani was right in his face. Morris it was looking on the shoulder. Nelson got a foot in. Referee thinking about it. No real advantage accruing. And Norwich do have the free kick.
That's good referee in there. You're looking for the foul, which it was. They gave Norwich the benefit of the doubt to try and get that ball forward to Sainz. If he had a better touch and went forward, then the advantage would have been played.
Well, he's got a better touch now, and he's very nearly in behind. And McGuinness across to cut off that avenue of attack. Morris chesting it down for Nelson. Nakamba, that's a good ball. And now Norwich City have made the foul. Stacey puts his leg in. The referee at the moment has said no to the yellow card.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's not a yellow card. Just a little bit late there from Stacey. The referee's done well to allow the players to try and get used to these conditions. They're quite easy to make mistimed challenges.
And at the shoulder of Doyle, here's Cyril Walters, former Arsenal man. Little disguise ball forward for Morris. McLean good in those tight areas. Cresceni will go back. Taking his chance recently, Ben Cresceni. Doyle was used there in the early stages of the season. Jose Cordoba, having been injured, has helped him out. And down this left-hand side with Sainz, he's got a good partnership. Here is Sainz, who runs into trouble in the shape of Nakamba. And now they can break with Chong. And they've slowed it down a little, which has allowed Norwich to flood back. To flood back. Walters, who kept it in first time, not the second.
They just don't seem to be clicking at all. The problem they have when they have that ball century, they've got two players down the middle, Adebayo and Morris, and that's really about it, who they're looking for. You need more runners from that midfield area to get forwards. I think the front two at the minute just playing a little bit too square, meaning they play side by side. One needs to come short, one needs to go in behind to try and create more space. Just seems a little bit static from Rob Edwards' side when they get into Norwich's half, so Norwich are getting a fairly decent shape without the ball.
Squeezed through by Nunez, and now they can break on this side with Stacey. Luton now back in their shape. McLean guided it forward for Emi Macondes. Sainz McLean. Little touch attempted round the corner from Macondes. Here's Kraus, usually neat and tidy. Set up nicely from Adebayo. This is Morris. Scooped out to the other side, and they switch the focus of the attack here to Rule Walters. Nakamba. It isn't that quick, though. Murray Bell on the ball now. It is out to the right-hand side, and that's loose from Chong, and it breaks down.
Yeah, it just sums it up, really.
Ben Slimane. Norwich have been a little more purposeful. Doyle for Anis Ben Slimane. Not afraid to go all the way back, to come forward again. Gunn this time will prod it over on that right-hand side, and Hernandez probably hasn't featured as much. He's been at the club a long, long time now. Oh, it's let through to Walters. He then holds it up, and Crescenti holds him up. Supporting his marvellous Nakamba. What a teasing ball! Almost falls for Morris on the cutback from Chong. Holmes was just flighted perfectly, and then Norwich will take the free kick that comes. I don't think he expected it to reach it.
Well, exactly. I mean, Stacey has just sold him the biggest dummy ever, because he's expecting him to head that, and he just leaves it. And I think Stacey's thinking that's just going to go out for a goal kick. Chong's not expecting Stacey to leave it, so they kind of trumped each other.
There's Amari Bell. Well, that goes down as a very good opportunity. Chong had just kept his focus on the ball. More direct this time for Morris. That's worked out. And Adebayo's turn. And he sets it up for Kraus. And it's a corner at least. Better combination this time from Luton.
That's much better. If you're going to play front two and the physicality of those two centre forwards, it's the first time they had a bit of time on the ball, got the ball forward, and they linked up nicely.
Forward they come. The heavy artillery from the back. McGuinness adding the height and the physicality. They've got to keep their eyes on Luton's number 11 as well. Elijah Adebayo.
This has been Norwich's issue this season. Set plays.
I think 40% of the goals that they've conceded since they came back after the last international break have come from set pieces. It is something that Jonas Torup has worked on in training. Let's see here as Luton whip it into the near post. Holmes rather came at him quickly and he couldn't react.
Yeah, just a little bit too much there on the head. You can see what they're trying to do, put that ball into that near post there with plenty of pace. Just too much on the head up. So made the run across the near post as well. It'd always been even harder to try and direct that one towards goal.
Ben Slimane, I think, is the man who has the issue standing on the edge of Norwich's penalty area. They were initially just delaying Angus Gunn from taking it. Got about 12 minutes to go of normal time. He's again feeling something. The Tunisian international, and now he's decided to give up completely and sit down. Means a little bit of stoppage time. A player who has, as you say, looked quite lively in a more attacking role in the opening 34 minutes or so. A chance to impart a little bit of wisdom and expertise with a front three in particular, who've combined nicely. Much has understandably come down the left for Sainz, the man of the moment for Norwich City. Not so much joy for Hernandez on the other side. Slimani gets his ankle looked at. Luton in a huddle. It's a bit touch and go, this. Take a look at the Norwich bench. You mentioned already Ashley Barnes, who hasn't had much game time, and Ante Senats, the two more attacking players. In terms of someone slotting in there, not that many options. Amankwa Forson, who was picked up in the summer, he's a potential one. Ben Slimani has been a regular starter for them since October. Missed only a couple of games in that time. And his loan from Sheffield United has been a good thing for Norwich City. A good thing for him too, with the game time he's getting compared to last season. We'll see if they will be forced into a change. We've already seen that happen to Luton. We lost Jordan Clark early. Marvellous Nakamba coming on, and there you see, Norwich City will also have to make a change in the last 10 minutes of this first half. But for the moment, they'll be down to 10 because they're not set up for it yet. Jack Wilshere is down there, a man who began his youth career with Luton before joining Arsenal back at the start of the century. He's moved from Arsenal to be part of Norwich's coaching team now. Here's Chong. Luton with the numerical advantage at the moment until Norwich sort things out on the bench. Can they take it? And Adebayo pulls wide. Too much on that for Chong. No chance Duffy can sweep up instead. It might need a little bit of rejigging. It is Ante Senats, who dropped out, one of the three to drop out of the starting lineup. The young Croatian who's scored a couple the last time they faced Luton and set up the third goal too for Marcondes.
Yeah, I mean, there was maybe a change in terms of, as you mentioned, not really too many options in the midfield area on the bench. It means Marcondes would probably just drop back. Senats to playing down the middle now, which is probably a bit more of a balance about playing with a natural striker.
Whistler's gone. We're going to get 2, maybe 3 extra minutes of stoppage time as a result of all that. Nelson now, who's had a composed half so far. Kraus. There's that diagonal again. Walters has quite often found space. Sainz doesn't always track back, but he did on that occasion. Oh, that's a loose one from Walters. Referee straight to his pocket. Oh, it's Nelson actually, not Walters. And he goes into the book. I've just praised his performance so far, and that was late.
Yeah, I mean, it's late. Even if he'd got a bit of the ball, it was a bit of a reckless challenge from behind. I don't think he got the ball out either. So the referee's trying to keep his cards in his pocket for as long as possible. I'll say no argument there with the yellow card.
That's one for Senats to chase. There has been a little bit of warming up from the Norwich substitutes, but that's one to test out the hamstrings early on, just having come on. It's only his 4th season of senior football. He's a Croatian under-21 international. He and Oscar Svartau, who's still in his teens, have looked useful over the last month or so. Here is Nelson. helps it out to Chong. Adebayo set it up for Tom Krause. Chong, only a couple to aim for. There's Adebayo, got a really good flick on it. And down at his near post, Angus Gunn had to react quickly.
I think Norwich would be frustrated if that one would have gone in. So there's 8 Norwich players in that box. And Adebayo has a free header. Better using the wing-backs. They've not used wing-backs anywhere near enough in that first half. I mentioned about crosses into the box at the start of the game to really cause Norwich issues. 40 minutes and they've got their first one in. Need to do that a lot more.
Luton corner, more pressure. Good clearing header from McLean. Out as far as Nakamba and a Murray Bell. Here's Tom Krause again. Nelson for Chong, that's a good turn. Chong against Doyle. And there was enough on it from the Norwich man to allow Nunez to put it away. Kaminski hasn't had too much to do so far. One shot on target for Norwich. He made a routine enough save from Emi Macondes. Luton themselves have only managed a couple on target. 3 shots apiece in total. Tells you that much of the game has been played in this kind of area. Here's Sanats though. Macondes slid that one through nicely. Stites didn't quite get the lofted elevation he needed to get over the lofty figure of Mark McGuinness. Adebayo, it's going to be a foul. He's not going to be able to run away with it and run at Doyle like he wanted to.
And my first reaction is that he's just trying to shield the ball in his arms high. I think Duffy more running into his arm than his arm trying to catch Duffy.
A little shrug of the shoulders. He doesn't feel, as you say, that he did too much wrong. Bit of a mouthful for Shane Duffy, though, on his 33rd birthday. A player who feels like at that experienced stage he's still proving people wrong by being more of a ball-playing centre-back in his role at Norwich City. Nunez is waiting to address the set piece. In it comes for Doyle. Stacey finds himself on the other side of the pitch. McLean looking to drift that one in. Saints is not the kind of player that would really compete against Holmes and McGuinness, but they have worked it on the floor. Macondes to Sanats, and it's just wide. It's Luton who got the final touch, and behind it goes through a corner.
Yeah, he made a really good run there. Sanats there on the angle, and he just wanted it played. It's always going to be difficult, though, being the left-footed. Cutting back in, the angle here is perfect. But just that second touch, then just didn't get out of his feet for the quick shot on the edge of the box. And had to take another one. By then, Luton got back goal side to make the block.
Norwich set piece as we approach the end of normal time in the first 45 minutes. We're expecting a portion of stoppage time. After 2 injuries, 1 each for both these two. And it comes to the far post, where Shane Duffy is waiting. Duffy's going to compete for that one again. It's Roel Walters who puts it away, and Krause is down, so this time Duffy is the man penalised. You can have a laugh about it at least. And Abe winning that first header. Duffy up and over the top with Tom Krause. Well, let's see in a moment or two how much stoppage time we do have here at Kenilworth Road at the end of the first half. Half which is yet to yield a goal. There's another flick from Morris. Nunez won't get there. Chong does. This in the game at Ellen Road between Leeds and Blackburn, the only goalless draws at the moment. Burnley-Stoke actually as well looking down. Going to get 3 additional minutes on the end of the 45. And there's a nice little give and go. Senat's onside. Senat's looking for Borja Sainz, and it's too far for the Spaniard. He'll retrieve, but not where he wanted it. Nunez. And this time it's not to work for Ante Senats. On Macondes just hints that maybe Norwich could do something on the break.
Yeah, I mean, the analysis of the first half is that Norwich are playing like them 1 in 8 away from home, and then Luton are playing like they're 4 points above relegation, where they're really nervous. So put that together, clearly see where the issues are lying. I mean, Norwich looked okay on the counter, but again, no real clear-cut opportunities against this Luton defence. And Luton have had their moments, but I just think at the moment, it's nervous about making the first mistake, nervous about passing the ball forward into an area where they can be really effective.
Launch by Holmes. Ben Cresceni waiting. Finds his target. Senat's wrapped up though by Holmes. Nelson for Walter, so he looks in field, finds Nakamba. He does have a good range of passing, the former Villa man. Stacey has read that one. It's straight out of play though, and just a minute of stoppage time to go.
It's not the worst ball in the world, but too many times Luton have gone like square and backwards in those areas there. Your wing-backs have become your width, and they're your height as well, to get yourselves forwards.
They battled enough. They've won a good amount of duels. Nobody more so up there than Carlton Morris, but not been able to work much on the ground. Amari Bell can prod that one forward. That's Morris rising high. Nelson up against Nunez. Shane Duffy for Macondes, who's operating from that little deeper role now. Ben Cresceni. And a rare misplaced pass from Kenny McLean. Once that has dribbled out of play, it'll pretty much be that. Thomas Kaminski gets enough time to launch the goal kick. Well, there is half-time, and it is goalless at Kenilworth Road between Luton and Norwich. One meaningful shot apiece, really. Elijah Adebayo delivering Luton's, which was easily saved, and after he came on, Ante Senats has provided a lively threat up front. But Thomas Kaminski has only been really forced into one save from Emi Macondes. So at half-time here in the Championship, it is Luton Town 0, Norwich City 0. Out of the game while he remains on the pitch. Jonas Thorups, new philosophy. They have really changed the playing style quite a bit, Norwich, from last season. Is to be comfortable and dominant on the ball, have that clear identity, whether they win or lose, so that fans can actually see, yes, this is a Norwich side we want to watch. It's a strategy that requires a bit of patience, though, if things aren't going to plan. It's Norwich to roll the ball back, and we're underway for the second 45 at Kenilworth Road on New Year's Day in the Championship. Luton 0, Norwich 0. No real significant big chances for either side. Only one shot on target for the visitors, a couple for Luton. Let's see how they approach breaking down this Norwich side. Morris has dropped a little deeper here. Neither side changing things from the first 45 the way it ended, although both had to make a change due to injury during the game. Jordan Clark departed, Marvelous Nakamba on, and he spent Slimani injured for Norwich, and Ante Senats is on. They'll have the first free kick here.
Certainly wasn't expecting changes at half-time, as you mentioned, the two made in that first half. Changing personnel more for Norwich, it means changing shape slightly. Sinat's just now playing as the natural centre-forward down the middle. So it might bring a bit of a better balance for him holding up the ball and allowing those midfield players to offer him a bit of support in behind him.
Shane Duffy back to his goalkeeper Angus Gunn, who wasn't really unduly troubled either in the first 45 minutes. Hernandez here did have his moments down the middle, so did Macondes. He's going to be giving Amari Bell and Tae Chong something to think about over the course of the second 45 minutes. They've only scored 11 away from home in total, Norwich. The majority of their goals, the 40 that they've got, the second most after Leeds and Middlesbrough, have come at Carrow Road, 29 of them. Chong, that has hit Nunez. But when they break, they can be devastating. Sainz pirouetting away. One brilliant, and still Senats makes the run. It takes a committed Mark McGuinness to stop him, but then they very nearly won it back. That was brilliant from Boris Sainz.
Brilliantly. No, he did so well there to a couple of spins to give himself that opportunity and chance, but I really felt there was a shot on slightly earlier, just delayed it, and now the challenge to come back.
Here they come again. Doyle striding out from the back. They were the ones that came out of the traps earlier and better in the first half, controlling possession. They had the field position, they've got it again. That's a neat touch from Sainz. Senat's waiting for the support from Stacey, which arrives. Now it's on Hernandez. They got 4 to aim for. He's got away from Chong. And there wasn't really much in the way of power on that. If anything, it's a bit too high for Sainz, and he could have left it.
Yeah, expect more from his feet than his head. But an encouraging start to the second half for Norwich. Just a bit more purpose about them, I feel. A bit more intensity in the press, a bit more intensity of trying to move the ball slightly quicker.
There's another long one. Morris didn't get there, but Adebayo did. Shane Duffy's gone out to find him. No real support nearby. Raul Walters eventually made himself available. He, along with Morris, though striking late, got the winner against Stoke. Morris doing the damage against Derby. It's been pretty even between these two in this century's meetings. It was a top-flight fixture towards the end of the last century, from 1982 to 1992, all by one season. One thing we don't see between these two often is a draw, but that's how it stands at the moment. Morris throwing himself at that. Nelson, the only man booked in the first half. Amari Bell. Neat from Morris, but not quite into the path of any of his teammates. No pressure on Kenny McLean as he drops deep and spins to start things again. Doyle. He's got a really good range of passing, Callum Doyle, and that's perfectly placed too for Onil Hernandez. It's another neatly crafted Norwich move. Across comes Bell, and out it goes.
Brilliant play there from Norwich. A great ball in there to Signs, great ball out wide. Positive pass into that Luton defensive line. That's how quickly things can change.
Norwich only had a handful of set-piece opportunities. They've not really made the most of any of them. Marcelino Nunez again. How to take this one. Guided into the near post area. Adebayo away. Nunez will have another go in a little flatter. Clearance isn't great, and Sainz has completely missed his kick. And he's still there for Hernandez charge down. You don't expect to see that. Nunez, third time. And Doyle lurking, can't keep it in.
What a chance that was. Probably the one play you want it to fall to on the edge of the box. It's ball about Signs, whether or not he just took his eye off the ball or maybe skidded towards him slightly quicker.
He's had a bright start to the second half, though this is what the Spaniard provided moments earlier.
Double spin, and a little cut inside there, touch there. I thought he was going to shoot then, but then he's just taken an extra couple of touches that in the end Guinness there come across and made a good challenge.
Now he's got to get back and help out. Zach Nelson pushed it out to the far side.
See, that's been Luton's issue throughout today. So many times they've gone back to their goalkeeper in positions even when they've just gone into Norwich's half.
And then Kaminski does go long. They have mixed that up. It's just been a little sloppy on the ground. If Morris doesn't win that first ball, or Adebayo, in terms of keeping hold of the ball, it's about 50-50 at the moment, but the proportion of successful passes from their actual passes is dropping off at the moment for Luton. Doors look comfy under the high ball. Duffy, we know, is certainly comfy in those situations. Walters tried to turn, had his ankles tapped. Hot drinks aplenty over on the far side. The hats, coats and gloves and scarves are absolutely needed on a day like today too. Luton getting on with it. Adebayo can't quite get that one. Taith Chung bringing it down out of the sky, but not quite under control. Gon was forced into the long clearance. Marcondes. He and Nunez both put their foot in. And his Kraus suit got the whack. First Christmas away from home for Tom Krause, a regular starter over the last few months. Played in every game since the end of September after that ankle injury when he first moved across. Just delayed his debut. Ten minutes in, a chance to test out Angus Gunn and his defenders.
It's a difficult angle to get something from as an attacking team. As a defensive unit, you know where it's going to go on that right-hand side. Luton will be looking for that header across. It's about the pace of the cross that comes in here.
Drifted in, and the flick nearly found Ruel Walters from Carlton Morris. Hasn't quite gone out of play, though. And Angus Gunn can retrieve that.
You'd be disappointed as a defensive unit to be conceding from that kind of angle of a free kick.
McLean very nearly caught out from Krause. They've got to be crisp and smart, and the pressing has earned Luton the ball back. Haven't always won it back quickly when they've not had it, but they did there, and Nunez just wafting out a leg. Down goes Chong. He would happily see a yellow card. The referee thinks different.
Yeah, I thought that maybe would have been the second yellow of the game. Bit of a reckless challenge from behind. Unfortunate to get away with one there, I think. This is a better angle, actually. I think this is a better angle of the cross than the one that Luton had previously. Morris and Adebayo are the two players that you can clearly see on the 18-yard box. However, certainly has a right to speak to the fourth official why that wasn't a card.
So, Zach Nelson prepares to deliver for Luton Town. And it's a decent one too. Very nearly drops for Chong, who will keep it in play. Better delivery, even if Norwich did get the all-important touch. Nakamba. Morris unable to bring it out of the cold and rainy sky.
Yeah, I thought maybe a header cross would have been better than him trying to bring it down with his touch. Certainly better reaction in the last 5 minutes from Rob Edwards' side after I thought Norwich started the second half really well.
Might not have been a good Christmas away from home with 3 defeats at Blackburn and Bristol and Swansea, but was a good off-the-pitch Christmas with final plans for the new stadium at Power Court approved the week before. It's a lovely setting when it's going to be finally built in the centre of the town. Chong's touch, Nunez with a rather aimless one. He's going to go out for a throw. Away from Doyle, who hasn't done much wrong, but he does have cover in his centre-half partner. He's got Luton up the pitch. And here's Nelson, who very nearly gets around. There's going to be a free kick, but outside the box. He fell in, but the initial contact began outside. Well, Luton are pointing out what they feel is the initial contact spot. Let's have a look. You can see what was drawn the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real tight call.
No doubt the tangle did begin outside, but the serious nature of it maybe accelerated inside.
I think it's just on the outside, and I think his attempt to try and then not dive into the box but make himself try and take that momentum into the box. I think it's just on the edge. I think the referee's got that one right.
an hour gone at Kenilworth Road. Luton hopeful, but once Jared Gillett has drawn his line, made his mind up, that wasn't going to change. His last delivery was a good one. Zach Nelson from wide on the other side. This one's going to need a little more thinking. He's got Tom Krause lurking on the edge of the D. The obvious targets of McGuinness, Morris and Adebayo, and that's where it's chipped towards that far post. It's Morris' header and Adebayo's touch.
The best moments of the second half so far from Rob Edwards' sides. It was difficult there for Adebayo there to try and turn and get any form of shot towards goal. Maybe the angle of Morris' header needs to go slightly more centrally towards goal.
Chong for Morris, who's beaten to it this time by Duffy. Adebayo has just caught that too heavily. Angus Gunn really as yet unthreatened. Just a couple of away wins, as I mentioned before, for Norwich. The last at Derby at the end of September, the other one at Coventry at the end of August. They've alternated between draws and defeats in the last 5. A draw would be the next one in the sequence if it carries on. That is the way it is right now. So that's... Here's Doyle. Adebayo gets the flick on. Luton have got numbers here. Krause with the option for Chong, off the underside of the bar, and Nelson can't convert. It will be a Luton Town set piece, but it might have been so much more.
Well, he couldn't have struck this any cleaner. I mean, the keeper is beaten, but the crossbar isn't. I thought the pass was slightly delayed. Chance of the game so far, and Norwich have got away with one.
Krause looked in two minds about whether to shoot himself or give it out to Chong. As close as Luton have come, and now the corner is flicked away at the near post, and they'll go again from the other side. Stacey well placed.
Yeah, much better from Luton. Said it's their best period of the game so far. There's slightly more confidence in the press. There's a bit more belief to try and get the front two into the game slightly more. Fans behind that goal are trying to encourage their players as much as possible.
Nelson once again moves over the 19-year-old to take the set piece. A tightly packed group of obvious targets break now from the penalty spot, and Adebayo rising up and putting it over. So far, Norwich survive these set pieces.
I think he'll be slightly disappointed because Jimenez was the player that was marking him. He just got that little run.
They're taking a long time over the restart at the moment. Chong. Hernandez. Chong can't get a grip of him. Hernandez for Sinats, who's left it very calmly. Try to find Macondes. He finds Hernandez. Norwich still have it, and then it's swung wide. Well, Luton's best spell of the game almost immediately ended.
He's had these little moments down that right-hand side. There's always going to be working against him there. Luton players to block the shot that came in, but they've had one or two chances now, and they maybe take an earlier chance rather than try and look for the pass.
Still, that goal eludes Onel Hernandez. January 2 years ago. against Coventry City. In the League Cup, he's got a couple against Stevenage. In the league, it just isn't happening for him. Bell. Kraus couldn't take it with him, but he does find strong advantage. Goes Luton's way. Nelson, oh, there was a lot of space out to the right-hand side. Nelson instead decided to go central. Bell's foot in. Tom Kraus. In low and away. Nakamba, busy, moving it on. Kraus again. This time they do look and spot the option on that far side. Nelson wants it. He got away from sights, that Nelson. Well, that's better. Quicker movement, better running off the ball in a set piece.
That's exactly what was missing in that first half. A bit of urgency, a bit of control in Norwich's half with the ball. That time, ball got spread out wide nice and quickly by Kraus. Nelson made the run off in good early ball forwards. I'd say for the last 10-15 minutes, it's been Luton going towards Gunn's goal.
Midway point of the second half, another Luton corner. Holmes is up there, and it's right at the goalkeeper.
There's a chance. And again, it's another free header. Just seemed to be past the responsibility on not staying with players.
Got his first for the club against Derby in the last home game. Didn't know much about it. Ali Ruddock and Panzu's shot deflecting off him. Here's Nelson. And McLean well placed. Nunez found himself with too much to do. Luton have got the bit between their teeth.
Oh, Norwich have gone completely. Just seem to have lost all control there. I thought they started the second half really well.
Going to get a change here, though. We mentioned Ashley Barnes in the first half. The fact he hasn't seen much game time. He's going to replace Onel Hernandez. Missed 6 months with a calf injury from the end of last season through to November. So he didn't play his first game of the season until the end of November. He's featured in every game but one since then. But starts have been hard to come by for the 35-year-old. He's had a contract in the summer, so he's only got a few months to try and prove himself. Gunn will size up the options. Busy from Kraseni. Now then, two strikers now really, with Senats and Ashley Barnes.
It seems whether or not they'll play as a two, I'm not too sure. Senat seems to be playing on the Hernandez position on that right-hand side, and Barnes naturally going down the middle. Not really too many options from the bench to really change too many things for Norwich, so something had to change because they've been really, really poor for the last 20 minutes of this second half.
Certainly a player they could play it up to. Will hold the ball up, give them a little more field position, which they just haven't had. Nunez is bowled over. Kraus said that was fair. The referee said no. And Norwich will play on quickly. Stacey for McLean. Luton pressing them back, the press led by Kraus. McLean was looking early, and the ball was intercepted. It didn't reach sights. Adebayo has moved it on. Carlton Morris Duffy diving in. Carlton Morris just could not get that shot away quick enough.
I don't know why he took the touch, because that allows Duffy to come across there. Just hit it now. Oh, it's a brilliant bot there from Shane Duffy that's come across there to make another timely challenge, but just take that one on first time. As a defender, you can't get back and cover that, and that ends up in the back of the net.
First clear sight of goal for Luton's number 9. They now have another long throw. McGuinness will arrow it in. Cresceni behind. Well, sooner or later, one of these set pieces is going to deliver something. You get the feeling they've not quite got the blend right, got the mixture and delivery right. Time and again, Holmes, Morris, Adebayo, McGuinness, they stand where you can see them there in the centre of the picture, and then they break. The delivery's not quite come up trumps yet. Here comes the latest. Holmes is underneath it. Krause has won it back. And now it is Holmes, who teases one under the roof of the net.
That was just definitely something just to be put back into an area. Just overhit it, and Angus Gunn slightly worried for a split second. Maybe could have just looped into that far post area. But they're first to everything in this second half, Luton, winning all those individual battles.
There's Barnes trying to direct it out of Macondes, and he does. Walters is there, Cresceni providing the overlap. Stacey. Marcelino Nunez. Oh, driving one into the corner! And it's gone all the way through! What a smash and grab from Norwich City. Luton dominant, Norwich on the ropes. And their Chilean international comes up with the goods. He did it on his century of appearances last time out. He's done it again at Kenilworth Road.
Well, talk about a goal out of nothing. As you quite rightly say, dominance from Luton has been apparent in this second half, but the conditions as they are, that's why you shoot from distance. It just takes awkward bounces in front of Kamansky in goal. And that's just why this nestles into the corner. I mean, he's looking, saying, why aren't you closing that one down? Nunez says, I'll have a shot. Talk about a goal against the run of play. However, that is Championship football for you.
Well, that'll be a real sucker punch for Luton. A fourth of the season for Nunez. And it could be vital. Away form for both these two is something that is right at the top of the agenda of improvements. Norwich might be on the verge of doing that on the first day of the new year. And if they get a second, then who knows? Sinat's making a really good run. They've gone the other way, and Barnes can't pull the trigger. Ashley Barnes waiting too long, and Tom Holmes picked his pocket.
And again, I mean, the ball was just perfectly weighted to him. They just go and hit it first time. And Morris had one at the other end where you take a touch. Duffy came across and made the challenge.
Luton didn't manage to find the goal when they were on top. Norwich found it when they were right up against it. And it's changed that feeling inside Kenilworth Road. Now they have the set piece and something to protect. It's flicked on. It's a half-hearted appeal by the travelling Canaries fans for a handball. Doyle won't get there. Now, 15 to go. What do Luton do from here?
I would say need to improve in certain areas, but I think second half they've been fairly solid. They've hit the crossbar, they've had one or two chances. They have to keep with that belief. You can certainly see that the goal has given Norwich a lot of confidence.
Nice turn from Carlton Morris. Nakamba out to the far side. Nelson sets one up for Raw Walters. It'll be a Luton throw. Home form has been what has kept them afloat this season, particularly in the last 6 games. If that starts to disappear, then they really will be in trouble. Now the only 2 games without a goal are at 2 of the top 3. Leeds, Blackburn and Burnley, Stoke. Luton with another long throw. It doesn't really work, but here's Walters. Got his leg kicked as he kicked the ball. Little push from Adebayo. Stacey hoping it'll go out, it doesn't. Hacked high into the sky. Movement down on the Norwich bench. It is they who will make the changes first. Kellen Fisher and Oscar Svartau are preparing to come on. Fisher has had such a good run. It's a surprise to see him drop out of the side. Must be more of a rest than anything else. Presumably he'll replace the man who's getting the ball now, Stacey. See if that happens now. Looks like it might be a triple change actually when it does, because Jose Cordoba is also getting ready. McLean. Here's Doyle. And Luton have to stop pressing because Duffy is down and holding the top of his left thigh, which is not good news. And might change how they're thinking. Let's have another look. Carlton Morris coming together with him, with his knee up. That's going to hurt.
Follow through afterwards. See him catches Duffy on the knee, which is a real sore one.
Judging by the players they were due to bring on, I don't think Duffy was coming off. That might have to change now. Luton gather for a conference. Carlton Morris's main concern is that all that extra time is added on at the end. Let's see the changes then. Borja Sainz off. Jose Cordoba on. That's the first one. No goal this time for the Championship's top scorer, so his total of 15 hasn't improved in the last 7 games. Back comes Jose Cordoba. It'll be Ben Crescent, actually, who's coming off for Kellen Fisher rather than Jack Stacey, and the goal scorer 2 is making way. So Oscar Svartau, Denmark under-19 international, who has probably exceeded expectations of where they thought he'd be, the 18-year-old so far. He's replacing the goal scorer. And there's Fisher, who's had an excellent season, the England under-20 international, got his first under-21 call-up as well late last year.
Yeah, good to see him given. I saw a lot of him in the National League with Bromley. They've got a good conveyor belt of young players that have come through and certainly made the grade. And so Norwich has taken the opportunity and chance. I think he's shown why he's certainly capable of playing at a much higher level. Maybe just that kind of early period of lots of games and championship level, just have a break. But say Stacey's a player that's got bags of experience as well. So just to come out the firing line a little bit, certainly a good learning curve for the youngster, but certainly a good player.
There's Kraus. What will Luton's reaction be? They need the impetus, but at the moment, the momentum's with Norwich. Svartau stopped on this occasion. Nelson out to Roy Walters. Looking to poke it through and carry on, he does. Svartau's tracked him all the way, but Luton have got good position here. Norwich have it back. Ashley Barnes has been felled. And the more those little decisions go their way, the more they might feel that they can finally get this elusive away win after such a long wait. 9 shots to 11 at the moment, but still only a couple on target. One in the first half and the goal in the second. They've actually had a lot fewer touches in the opposition box. A lot of those from Luton have come in that good spell in this second period.
I say they were the better sides. So it's just maybe Norwich shading it on points slightly in the first, but second half it's been all Luton, and then all of a sudden Norwich go at the other end and Nunez has that shot. It just nettles into the bottom of the corner.
Walters has been clocked by that clearance from Holmes. It's winded him a bit. Well, 8 to go in normal time. It's got to be, you'd think, at least 5 minutes. It's not going to help matters, is it? Smack on the side of the head. That's another delay for the restart. Another minute or so of stoppage time. Busy period continues. It's always really congested over this time of year. Sanats. Oh, he's got away from Bell, and it's drifting and drifting just wide. Well, reminiscent of the goal they did get, that one flying through the air and just swerved.
That would have been an odd one if it had gone in, because I don't think that's a shot. I think he's just trying to put it in for Ashley Barnes that ended up almost going into the goal.
Well, triple change for Luton is the response. Elijah Adebayo departs without a goal this time. And he's going to be replaced by the returning Jacob Brown. The Scotsman having a nasty dead leg a couple of games ago. Cauley Woodrow and Joe Taylor are the players also coming on to add a different kind of threat. Is it too late, though, for Luton? Both regular subs, Woodrow and Taylor. Victor Moses, the other, coming on. Another who's been rested, but can provide a real cutting edge when needed. If he's going to have enough time to do it here, we'll see. Woodrow a little too keen. So, 5 minutes to go, plus probably another 5 minutes. Is that going to be enough? They've left it late, as I mentioned before. In the last 2 home games, they hadn't even scored against Derby by this point. Last time out, but they still won the game. Coming back to win by 2-1. Cordoba. They need the crowd to get behind them. Fisher. Duffy backpedaling. They'll happily hold on to this, Norwich. Sinnett doesn't find a way past Tahith Chong. I'm going to feel that at the very least a draw is what they deserve here, Luton, but they'll have to work hard to even get that, as McLean looks long for Barnes, who does pick it up and does really well. Tratau. We'll switch it. Cordoba looking a little further forward. Luton need it up the other end of the pitch. Holmes back to the goalkeeper again. Kaminski will go long. Somebody has to stand up and provide that little bit of invention, that show them the way.
Something has to happen sooner rather than later.
So that's Strong. Stacey on the overlap, and he's got players to aim for. Ashley Barnes is one, and it got that all wrong. McLean then lost out in the centre of the park. Chong, this is Morris, and now Luton maybe. Little momentum coming forward. Brown has made a good run down the left-hand side. They've gone out to the right instead, and here's a first opportunity for Moses. He's got his cross in, but everybody had come central.
Oh, what a chance that was for Ashley Barnes at the other end, just to get the game done and dusted. I think he's had a fairly decent effect since he's come on, but what a chance that was there. Such a poor first touch, even by his standards. Stace did brilliantly there, touch and finish. Action afterwards said it all. Could have made the point certainly comfortable now for Norwich.
That's a painful one. The play continues. Macondes is going to get back on his feet. Seems a little better now. And then Brown is flattened by Doyle. Not many yellow cards in the game, but Callum Doyle has got one.
Certainly be a huge frustration from Norwich's end if they submit this lead and concede an equaliser after the chances that they've had.
Is it to be another set piece to do the damage for Luton Town? Cauley Woodrow making absolutely sure that the ball is where he wants it to be. It is hung up high. It's a Norwich head that gets there, and it's Brown who hits one. Well, it's spun off a Norwich City player, and they'll have a corner at least.
It wasn't really the most conservative header there from Fisher. Put it into a bit of a dangerous area. Just this one here.
Deflected off Kenny McLean. 30 seconds of normal time to go. Is this Luton's time? It has been. In the last couple of home games, they've struck late. In comes the corner. Duffy meets it well. Taylor underneath it. Amari Bell, who was flattened by Duffy. It's picked up by Tom Holmes, who finds Chong. Cordoba across. It's another corner.
Hard to say. Shane Duffy has been excellent aerially. Crosses coming into the box. He's been there. He's been the rock at the back, and they're going to have to do it just for a couple of minutes more now. Can they get off this set play hoodoo of conceding from them?
Surprised it's only 4 minutes, but that is the total. Ashley Barnes and Carlton Morris are the players in conversation with the referee. Now in comes the delivery. Easily cleared at the near post. Moses, well, that was super ambitious, wasn't it? All those players up there, and he goes for the grandstand finish.
Well, for a player of his experience and everything that he's achieved in the game, I'm absolutely amazed that he's just tried to hit that from that distance on the half volley. Again, it's a wasteful opportunity. I think it's going to be really interesting to hear these Luton Town fans at the end of this game.
Norwich fans are taunting Rob Edwards at the moment. A couple of minutes to go. Wonder what the reaction will be if nothing is forthcoming from the home side. Holmes goes back. I mentioned before he was looking a little shaky in November's international break. He said that the CEO, Gary Sweet, and the board have been very supportive. But in his own words, his future was out of his own hands. That may well continue to be the case if the corner is not turned and if the home form begins to slip. They're on the verge, Norwich, of becoming the first in Sunderland here at the end of October to win. Jonas Softoro in the foreground will be delighted if he can get this one over the line. Turn by Taylor, all the spaces on this side of the pitch, and Moses is galloping into it. All for Brown to chase. Well, it's a corner, 90 seconds of stoppage time to go. Now or never time for Luton. So many set pieces they've had each time. Norwich, one way or the other, have been able to repel the danger. In it comes, hanging high. Won by Holmes. Taylor with a missed kick, and Stacey is going to wrestle him for it. Into the last 60 seconds. A ninth corner. And nothing from any of them for Luton. Duffy's header with a space here for Wardrobe, who aims low. Oh, the frame of the goal denies Luton right at the death. Bell, Macondes, well, that was their moment.
So when you're at the bottom half of the league, that's where luck hits you hard. I think they deserve something from this game on their second half performance, Luton.
Seconds remain as Kaminski goes long. It has to go in the box, but it isn't going to matter. It is a chorus of boos greeting Rob Edwards as Kenilworth Road reacts to a defeat here for the first time since the end of October. Luton beaten at home as Norwich City start 2025 with a rare win on the road. Their first in 9 matches and only the third of the season, hard fought, delivered by Marcelino Nunez's goal in the second half, just as Luton were looking on top. Luton's New Year resolutions have not come to fruition yet, but they have to